needs and there's time to address it. Right now, people are being profiled, people are being incarcerated. If we humanize people, we can deal with these things. If we humanize people and don't make them anything other than human beings, we can address these issues. Until we get there, we're fighting uphill battle.
You said that you stopped doing it at one point. When did you start doing it again?
No, that's what I'm saying. The other night I was just, maybe I was a step too far back. I don't know that. Yeah, I knew that people are just watching and looking, but I've always been down there at the end of the line, and I've always been socially conscious, but I've never tried to make sure I don't wear it on my sleeve because, I heard a few years ago, a little bit longer than a few years ago, but you want to be able to develop relationships with guys, and you don't want to turn into that guy that guys stay away from. That was some advice I got from some coaches who were concerned about just the environment. So again, like I said, man, it's something that I was doing years and years ago, and it just, I guess, whatever. It's just one of those moments, man, where we've just gotta really examine, the human element in this. We gotta start there before we start anywhere else.
Has your issue with the anthem been more to do with the state of the country now, or more to do with how the country came to be?
See, it's not, and that's my thing. I don't want to. I've never come out and said, or I've never been I'm going to protest the anthem. The idea is that there's a certain way that this society interrelates with one another that does not speak to the humanity of black people in this country. That has been a beginning issue, and that is something that I feel is the most important issue. If you think about, and I like to use this example, but if you think about the Mike Brown case in Ferguson, he was turned into something other than a human being. If you read the words that were used to describe him, like he was dehumanized. And when you dehumanize people, then you can treat them however you want. You can, do what you want to them. And so the humanity part for me is the first step that we need to take. And that's what it's always been about. It hasn't been about the anthem. It has been about, me being socially aware. The first time I dealt with police violence, I was 9 years old. An officer by the name of Gary Spath shot a dude by the name of Philip Pinnell in the back. I was 9 years old. I was up the street from my house in Teaneck, New Jersey. I've been in front of this for a very long time. And as a child, when you deal with that, that's my thing. We didn't address the issues that brought to us as young children. The whole block was full of children. And we experienced that. I was 9 years old, I'm 36, and we're still dealing with the same thing. And then when I was 9, now I'm 36, we have not closed the gap in terms of humanizing people. The same language that was used to demonize guys who are, whether you think they're justly or unjustly murdered, is the same language we were hearing when I was 9 years old. And that's my issue, right? Humanize people. We are people. We all have the same. We wake up, we go to sleep, we use the bathroom, we need water and food, right, to survive. Humanize people. And put people, our issue has been to step on the level playing field of humanity. And that has been the issue. It's not about an anthem. It's not about the specific issue. We need to humanize who we are, what we are. And that's really it. And it's not something that is easy. It's not something that's going to take. It's not something that's going to go away overnight. But I think the human element of it has got to be the first step. Before we get to the details, right? Let's humanize people. Right? Let's make sure that people in the world have some basic necessities. Right? Let's make sure that children aren't being victims? At what point do we just humanize this whole situation? Because I think that's the first step.
How do you do that? Like, what's the best way to go about doing that?
Really the biggest thing is the recognition. Right? I talked to my son is 7 years old, and I talk to him like we have this game where we try to scare each other every single day, like, you know, jumping out and trying to scare each other. And the thing about it is I'm explaining to him what the idea behind it is, that so there's certain things that I feel, right, when you're walking through. Now I'm in my mind, I'm saying I'm waiting for him to jump out. So there's certain things that I feel, that you feel, that we should feel for one another when something's happening to you. In the medical sciences, I think they call it mirror neurons, right? That's what makes you flinch when you see a guy get hit in the nuts. You see, you know, a guy have a horrific injury. We don't want to feel that, right? Our bodies are saying that hurts. It looks like it hurts. That's humanizing one another. The things that we see happening to someone else, we should feel that pain, right? Before we get to, you know, the specific issue, right? Can you recognize that, you know, I'm a human just like you are. I might have children or a wife or somebody to go home to just like you do. That's where I feel like we need to start.
I know you're super well read on Black history. When did that become a real interest for you? Was that early on, or?
9 years old, man.
Yeah, started reading that.
That's when we started. My mom started having the talks like that. You know, get y'all butts in the house, get, you know, up and down the street. Don't you